What's up? Shout out to all my regulars, my supporters. We're back with episode 18. This is Faces of 518 with your host, DJ Wiz Hoffa. And I got a special guest in the building today. I always say that, right? But all my guests are special to me. Today, the person that I'm introducing to y'all, he's a mentor, he's an organizer, he's a philanthropist, he's an artist manager, he's also a coach, he's also a co-host, and he does a lot of shit in the community on the regular. And me and this man have great conversations about hip hop and everything under the sun. Today, I got my man Beast in the building, Michael A. Alexander.
Indeed. Nah, pleasure to be here, man. Who knew I would ever be one of the faces of the 518?
Yo, you working, man.
You know, some people pretend the work ain't work. You know what I mean?
Yo, man, you know what's dope is that when I first met you, and I was watching you say this today on another interview I was watching you on, because I do my back homework. When I first met you, I actually recognized who you were because I was a fan of your work. And then you let me know that you was watching me because you was a fan of my work. And then that's how the relationship just built. So I just feel like it's ironic and it's also fitting to have you here on the platform today. You know what I mean? For the many things that you've been doing and, you hot right now, man.
Man, I'm just trying to do my part, man. Everybody got a part to play. And I spent years not doing mine. So it's time to make up for that.
Okay, so let's talk about it, man. You're originally from Queens.
Indeed. I'm originally from Southside Queens. Went to elementary school in Queens and then went to middle school in Massachusetts. I got shipped out to Eagle Brook Academy. I was out there playing sports. I was out there wrestling. Got athletic scholarship to go wrestle at Blair Academy in New Jersey, and then fumbled it. Ended up back in high school, back in Queens, was getting into fights, getting into trouble, and I have an aunt that had bought a house up here in Albany. So she offered me an opportunity to come start over. You know what I mean? So I did that. And honestly, I didn't appreciate the 518 for what it was when I moved up here at 17 years old, coming fresh out the city. I was up here for probably about 7-8 years. It took me leaving for 14 years and coming back to really appreciate and see how special the 518 really is.
So would you say it was because partially of you maturing and your growth that you was actually able to see what the 518 had to offer?
100%.
And when you first came here, was it like, yo, this shit boring? Was it like that?
It was a little bit of that. It was a little bit of it's boring. It's a little bit of
Slower.
what we would be doing if we was in the city. We'd be doing this, that, and this, right? But also it was just me being unaware of anything outside of New York City. For real. So it's just as me being used to what I was used to and coming up here and things was a little different. I didn't know as many people. And, as I got to know more people, I found out there's more things to do. I got exposed to more things to do. So, yeah, it definitely took some maturing. It definitely took seeing more of the world. It definitely took being in really boring places. Like, there's really some places in this country that's really boring.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you go there. So I went to some other places and seen some other places where I really didn't have no friends, really didn't know nobody, really was just out there for self. So when I came back here and I seen the opportunity, I seen the ability to touch and reach people in high places. I arguably, and I'm only saying this number because I don't even want the number to be able to be debated, right? I arguably do a music review show with a top 20 artists in the 518. And again, I'm just saying 20 so you can't even argue it. You can't even debate it.
Right.
I'm sure he's higher than that on a lot of people's lists, but I just don't even want it debatable, right? But if I was in Queens or in New York City doing a music review show, could I have a top 20 artist sitting next to me every week?
Right.
Probably not. Right? Would the mayor call me beast? Would the police chief call me beast? If I was still in New York City? Probably not. I would just be a blip on, you know what I mean? So once I understood the reach and understood how touchable things were here in the 518, I was able to utilize them things to my advantage.
The irony of this conversation is crazy because earlier I was reading a post that you made a day or two ago, basically saying how when y'all get on this app, Facebook, and talk about people from New York City, you're inadvertently probably disrespecting people that you actually know and are cool with.
Yeah, so, and I get it, especially with this internet, people are very easily triggered, but how am I supposed to respond to you when you see me, smile in my face, dap me up, yo, 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 and you was just on the internet dissing my home? And for what? Because a stranger, somebody you don't even know, says something stupid about upstate? So now you gonna diss a whole city when you got people you cool with from that city?
So when you first came up here, was you a Mech nigga?
Yeah, absolutely. And I had to earn my stripes. People don't know about that no more. Now you can come up here from New York comfortably. You can come up here comfortably, and it's cool, and you get ingratiated quickly, and people just accept you. Nah, I came up here, I was a Met nigga. You hear me? I was a Met nigga, and you had to earn every stripe, every trick you tried to talk to. You was gonna get some pushback from the dudes that know her. Like, nah. This thing was different. Even all the way down to high school sports. I played for Albany High for a quarter of a season before I quit. And part of the reason that I quit was because the coach made it very, very evident that I was gonna get no good favor because I wasn't from here. You know what I mean? Like at that time, he was the principal over at Livingston, so he got to see kids from early. He knew a lot of the kids' family already. And for me to come out of nowhere, just dropped here with people asking my name, as soon as I tell them, oh, you related to the? Nah, I'm not.
So that's literally experiencing politics of a city at a young age.
Fact.
Do you feel like that's something that's still going on right now?
Yeah.
In those arenas?
Maybe not so much in those arenas because there are so many transplants here in the Capital District now that are in high places and moving things. Let's be clear, the mayor's from Washington, D.C. She's not from here. So there's so many transplants here that's moving, so I don't think in the high arenas it's happening, but subconsciously it's still happening at every level. Like, let's be clear, I'm easily one of the best things to happen to upstate basketball in a long time with me coming and emceeing these games and just bringing the energy and keeping the focus on the games. Nobody gonna really tell you that because I'm not from here. You feel what I'm saying? So they're gonna give you the history. They're gonna give you the list of names of people that was doing it before me. And listen, I watched those people. I learned some things from them people. Shout out to Uncle Fresh and both his kids. Shout out to my brother Hubba Bubba. Like, those are my peoples. I watched them and seen how they maneuvered and how they did it. And then I also took what I learned from my days of playing street ball and added that to the mix of what I do when I'm on the microphone at these games. But people ain't gonna tell you I'm the voice of upstate basketball because I'm not from here originally. I wasn't born in one of these hospitals. So no matter how much 518 gear I wear, no matter how many different events I help put on, they still gonna see me as an outsider. And that's okay.
Yeah, I literally made a phone call today and it didn't pan out for me. But I told my wife yesterday, I gotta call Just and get some new shit. Cause B ain't about to be up here out 518 and me on my podcast.
Well, listen, you better call some more people because Just ain't enough. Shout out to Just, that's my guy. Shout out to 518 Clothing. But yeah, Just ain't enough.
So
That's ain't enough. You got to call Just. You got to call Joe Vaughn with the Broquet. You got to call Mark Edmonds with the Culture. Like, you got to call a lot of people. I
segued into that because I really wanted to show, like, with us having a conversation of you not being here, just highlighting how much you really rep and go hard for the 518.
Yo, the challenge still stands, man. If you see me anywhere and I don't got on at least one thing that's from the 518 brands, I got to give you $5 out my pocket.
That's what's up.
Try me.
That's what's up. That's
You know what I
what's
mean? All the way down there, I be having Big G socks on. Stop playing with me. Like,
So when you came back up here,
yeah.
and we spoke about you being able to appreciate Albany more because you had grown and matured, what's some of the things that brought you to that point of growth and maturity?
Like I said, just life, just experience in different places. I moved all the way down the East Coast, lived in and stayed in a bunch of different cities. And then when I came back, let's be clear, I didn't come back for Albany. I didn't come back for the 518. I came back for the young lady that ultimately ended up being my wife, right? I came back for her. But my cousin challenged me because he was here. He's originally from Brooklyn. If I moved up here in 93, he probably moved up here in 94, 95. And he never left when I left. He been here the whole time. So when I came back, he was like, yo, I don't know what you came here for. Ain't nothing here. And I challenged him. Because I've been places where it's nothing there. So I'm like, what's not here? What do you desire that's not here? Because if you really can pinpoint something that you desire that's not here, create it. That means there's a lane for it. But I challenge you. I bet you there's way more here. You just got to do the due diligence to find it. Now, the thing that I would say the 518 could do better is promoting. Like, there's a lot of things that happen here that if you're not in the right loops or not friends with the right person on the internet, you won't know is happening. You feel what I'm saying? So when people be like, ain't nothing to do, I'd be like, how? I'm busy almost every day. How ain't nothing to do? But I'm in the loop with different things. So I think, especially being this type of town, it should still be more foot traffic promotion. So that's why I applauded you when you had your birthday party. You didn't rely just on the internet. You was real paper copies, going handing them out. No, it should be some at the barbershops that people most frequent. It should be a flyer in the Stewart's. Stewart's got a whole bulletin board right there for flyers. How is flyers not? You feel what I'm saying? So we got to get back to that. You know what I mean? The gas stations, why is it not flyers? So I grew up when people were stamping the ground. People would put a stamp on the concrete if it was a show coming up or an album dropping. People posting on the telephone poles. And you know what I'm saying? The stickers. So we kind of got to get back to that because this is an old school town where everybody ain't on the internet. You know what I mean? You know how many times I've been walking up the hill to a Patroons game and seen somebody be like, yo, where you going? Oh, we're going to the Patroons game. The Patroons back? I didn't even know they was back.
Right. It's a lot of people that's not tapped in like that.
Because most of it is moving on the internet. Nah, you got to get back to the streets here in the 518. There's still people that ain't on all the internet stuff that want to be a part of things, want to come out, want to support.
Me and you have talked behind the scenes extensively about certain parts of your life. And I notice this has happened to me a couple of times. If I say the word beast, because there's more than one beast.
Facts.
When I say that,
I only know one.
They be like,
other than me, I only know one of them.
Right. Well, it's probably the one I know. But they be like, this beast or the beast with the scar on his face. And you explained the story to me about how that all happened and how it played out.
Yeah.
And I feel like with everything that's going on in our city right now, with people getting shot, stabbed, I think that your story needs to be told to show people how that things could end up positive and not end up with somebody in the ground. Right. Do you care to speak on that at all?
No, I have no problem with that. And I mean, I don't think we got to get all into the story of how I got cut.
Right.
Because that's not the powerful part of the story. Things happen all the time. I was about 17 years old when I got cut across my face. And I knew the gentleman that did it. Still to this day, don't know exactly why he did it, but kind of, some of it was just simply me being a mech nigga, how we talked about earlier.
Right.
You know what I mean? Bro was incarcerated, and when he came home, he seen people he grew up with and loved, hanging around, giving me love and respect, especially because I'm playing ball and stuff. And he just came from a space where he was at war with mech niggas, so he just couldn't get with it. So I ended up cut across my face. down on Broadway and what's that, North Second, sitting in the park. Years later, I get to the age where I'm like, yo, I'm turning my life around. I ain't got no beef or nothing like that in the streets. However, it's just one question mark. Just one question mark. I do not know how I'm gonna react if I see this dude that cut me in my face. So ultimately, when you have a question mark like that, it's hard to have anything solid in your life, right? Because at any moment in your mind, you could throw it all away. But then as me and my wife started to grow, I started to have things I didn't want to lose. I started to have things that I didn't want to be away from, whether that's death or in jail. Like I started to have things that I cared about. And that kind of changed my mind on some things. So I thought. So I kind of got in my head that I'm over it. And I ain't worried about it. I ain't even really seen him. He don't be around. He probably locked up again. I ain't worried about it. A gentleman I know that knows both of us came to me and was like, yo, I think y'all should talk. Because I've been around both of y'all as adults and y'all in a different place than y'all was then. Like, yeah, I'm good on that. I don't really have no desire to talk to the nigga. Because it ain't like we ever really spoke for real. Like we was never super cool. It was always a standoffish energy. I'm at my friend's house. My man, he at that time he was living on First Street, like right under Lex. And I'm in front of his house. He working on his car. We in front of the crib, and I start to see a police presence down at the corner, the intersection of Henry Johnson. So I'm like, yo, what's going on down here? So I leave him in front of his, yo, I'll be back. So I go walking to see what's going on. When I get to Henry Johnson, I look up the Henry Johnson Hill towards Livingston, and every intersection had a police presence. Oh, this crap, hold on. So I start moving that direction, just being nosy. As I get to the top of the hill, and I can see now, I see that they protesting. And I can hear the powerful voice of a speaker through a megaphone. So I keep going, see what they talking about, see who up here.
Was this the COVID era?
This was the COVID era,
Okay.
so everybody was masked up. I had my mask in my pocket. So as I started approaching people, I throw the mask on. But as I approached the circle, I don't know if y'all remember, at that time they was protesting right there on the intersection of Livingston and Henry Johnson. People had sat in the highway. So
And
you
they was
couldn't
laying,
get
too.
you couldn't get in or off the highway. You feel what I'm saying? And then there was a circle right in the middle between Stewart's and Family Dollar, and in the middle of that circle is homeboy with the megaphone talking. But it's people in both parking lots. Like, I mean, it's crowded out here.
Right.
As I get closer to the circle, I recognize homeboy that cut me across my face. He don't see me though. And I'm probably at about 6 o'clock, like 6 and 12 o'clock at that time, like straight across from each other. So I kind of moved to 3 o'clock to see if his eyes would come with me. They didn't. So I moved right behind him. And he never even knew I was there. And I stood there contemplating. I ain't had no weapon on me, but I had a pen in my pocket, you know. With enough impact, a pen could do some ooh. You know what I mean? I'm not no little guy. So, some thoughts ran through my mind. And ultimately, I caught homeboy voice again through the megaphone. Because all of that went mute for a second. I caught his voice again. And I realized what they was there for. I realized what the protest was for. I realized it was just, as black men, we just want to live. As black men, we tired of being killed. As black men, we tired of being undervalued. So how can I stand here and harm another black man?
Yo, God really put you in the right place in the right moment for that.
So I ended up like circle stepping to put myself literally right in front of him face to face, and I pull my mask down and I'm just looking at him. And like his eyes opened up once he realized who I am, and I put my hand out for him to shake my hand. He looked down at my hand and gave me a hug. We stood there and embraced for probably about a minute or so. It seemed like longer than that. We let the embrace go, kind of gave each other a nod, told him I'm happy to see him, spun off. The protest ended up moving, and they ended up walking from there all the way down Lark, across Madison, up New Scotland, down Maine, and up Central. And I take the walk, and as I'm walking, he on his bike. And like throughout the walk, just occasionally, like we both just a look across, connect eyes, and just give a little nod. You know what I mean? I probably seen him once after that. And then again, it was just a nod. It was good. But it definitely was a burden lifted. And now I don't have no question marks. You know what I mean? Now ain't no, I wonder what I would do. It ain't none of that. Now I got nothing but positive energy. I don't got no ops. I'm not looking over my shoulder. Life feels a lot lighter.
That's fire, man. That's a dope story. With that being said, do you think that experience helps you when it comes to mentoring young men?
Yes, because I can look you in your face, having done the work myself, and tell you to forgive people, and when you forgive people, it's really to ease on yourself. You know what I mean? It's really to lighten your conscience and to lighten your worry and your burden. So I could look people in their face and tell them, yo, it's okay. I understand that happened. It's okay. Because you're gonna lose more trying to invest in that than you will if you just let that go. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta swallow your pride and ego. Sometimes you gotta tell your ego you're a liar. You know what I mean? I don't gotta do that. I don't have to do that for people to respect me. I don't have to do that to be considered a man. I don't have to do that to be real. Sometimes you gotta tell your ego and your pride they lying to you.
What would you like to see more of in the community to help quell this violence? Or do you think that we are headed in the right direction already?
I think we're headed in a direction. I think we're headed in a direction. I don't know if the violence ever stops. I don't know if violence has ever not been here. Some of it is ingrained in our fabric as human beings. That's why I'm so scared of this smart era with these machines and computers and the robots. I'm scared of that because ultimately, these movies told us a story. The iRobots, the Terminators. Ultimately, we putting these things in place to try to prolong human life. However, the biggest detriment to human life is humans. So how long is it before these computers take over and start giving us a curfew, start locking these smart doors? Or you got a smart house? Well, you got a curfew now, and you're going to either be locked in or locked out. You feel what I'm saying? Or you got a smart car? Well, we just saw you commit that crime. We driving you straight to the precinct. Like, how long is it before these smart things start correcting dumb people? Okay.
That's an interesting point. That's a very interesting perspective.
So, but I think crime is always going to be here. It's just at what extent, at what level, how ruthless, how gruesome is it going to be, how careless is going to be. Listen, there are some people who make a silent agreement that ultimately that's what they're going to be. They're going to be street people. They're going to live the life of the street. And that's cool. We need balance on the spectrum of life, right? So we're going to need street people as much as we're going to need police and everything in between. But how far are you willing to go to show your street, right? In certain situations, like, rest in peace, Keanu, a basketball player that I knew, played against, talked to, was on Instagram Live with, often was supposed to interview. He just got shot and killed on a basketball court. Now, I don't know what the cause of that was. I don't know what incited that. What I do know is that was a park full of people, women, kids, all of that ain't have nothing to do with whatever what was going on. So for you to fire shots in that type of situation, that's reckless.
You're referring to what happened last week?
Yeah, what happened in Kingdom.
Okay, yeah.
What happened in Kingdom. Yeah, my guy Keanu.
Oh, so you knew him?
Yeah, I knew Keanu. I got 30 interview questions in my phone. We were supposed to interview Keanu on my sports. Me and my boy Chris, we got a sports podcast called Hanging Jerseys because, people started using the terminology, give people their flowers, you know what I mean, in this space. And in sports, one of the biggest flowers you can get is your jersey hung in the rafters. So the name of our show is Hanging Jerseys, just giving people they respect in the sports world. I got 30 questions for Keno in my
Wow.
phone.
So I was talking to my brother today from Harlem, and he told me that he heard that they shutting down all the events that's supposed to come up. The other,
Who Kingdom is?
yeah, and everything that's supposed to be there is for they done for the summer.
They might be. They might have to sit down for the summer. You know, it ain't the first tournament that had to sit down, or the first league that had to sit down. I'm from Queens. I was there the day a young man got killed at Ajax Park in Queens, and it ain't really been a tournament in that park since. And that was 2009, something like that. So yeah, you might have to sit down for a second. And it's unfortunate because it might not have been no fault of the people organizing the tournament. It might not have been their fault at all.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Every tournament is ran different. I've been to some of these tournaments where you get patted down and wanted down. I've been to some where you don't. And even the ones where you do, if you a regular, if you somebody that they know of, familiar face, you're probably not. And some of these joints, some of these parks is right in the midst of projects.
Right.
That's somebody projects. They live here. So it's different, but it might not be at no fault of the people who organized it, but it's unfortunate, man. Things happen, and when things happen, somebody got to be accountable for it.
So you do a lot of things up here, but I also know that frequently you go back home.
Yeah, I'm not one of those.
And you doing a lot of things when you go back home to help the community you came from as well.
Yeah. Shout out to my guy Chris. Me and Chris, the same way me and Pop got the Big G Classic up here, in memorial to his father, Big Gerald. We got the SDA Classic down in Queens, and we've been going down there for 6 years as well, in memory of my man Aunt. So we've been doing that. Like, nothing happens in that tournament that I don't get called for. Every team that gets put in, I get called for. I was there for Father's Day. I missed opening day this year, but normally for opening day, I'm there. And like you said, throughout the summer, I always stop in as many times as I can, but I'm also the co-commissioner of that as well.
That's dope. And me and you, throughout our talking, we realized that we know some of the same individuals in Queens. That was kind of interesting because that don't really happen too often when I'm talking to somebody that's in Albany. The last thing I think we spoke about having to do with Queens was, and I'm just speaking about this because this is a place that I have a lot of memories too, but the closing of the Coliseum Mall and the effect that's gonna have on people in Queens. And I know it's given aside because it's like, damn, all these memories is gone.
I don't know how much of an effect it's gonna have. And here's why. It was a drawn out transition. Like, it didn't go from the Coliseum is popping and it's everything we remember. That's where you go to get all your jewelry and your jackets and then the next day it was gone. It wasn't that. The lore of it had faded. The lore of Jamaica Ave in general had faded. Like the competition of all the different sneaker stores, that had faded. Like, and it just wasn't even the same amount of traffic up there as it used to be. It wasn't that draw no more. It wasn't like, oh, I gotta go to the Coliseum. That had already died before they closed it. So when it closed, like, yeah, it was a thing, and people went out there to show love for it when it closed, but guess what? It might be open if y'all would have been showing that love while it was here.
That's a fact.
But people diverted, and just in general, people don't go out shopping as much no more. Bro, you been to the mall lately? Like a desert. Because so many people ordering online now. Like, online is taking over everything. Shout out to Amazon. Amazon is up. But yeah, people just ain't out shopping as much. So those type of places that's geared towards shopping, they're just dying down some. So yeah, the Coliseum, that was a slow, drawn out thing. So we kind of seen it coming.
Well, R.I.P. to Coliseum Mall. It was definitely a place of many memories. I ran into guys like Graf there, ran into guys like Superstar J there, Love De Niro. It was really a meeting ground for a lot of me and my DJ friends in the city. You know what I wanted to ask you about also too. Last year, you made a very controversial topic that ended up.
Did I? Or
Well,
people
yeah.
just too easily triggered and often triggered by the wrong thing?
I don't know.
Go ahead,
I've
finish
been
your
through. I've been through that before years ago. So I kind of stopped doing it. And maybe you just didn't realize not to
did.
walk into them shoes.
I did. And when you called me the next morning, did I seem like I was bothered? Did I seem like I was worried?
Nah,
When you was like, yo, bro, you just opened the floodgate. Did I seem like I cared?
not at all.
It was actually comical to me. And here's why. Not because people disagree with my list. Cool. Like you said, there hasn't been a list that came out put out by nobody that everybody agreed with.
Right. Facts.
So I'm cool with that.
Mhm.
What was comical to me is that there was more outrage in my list than there was about the 518 being completely left out of the whole
Right.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was a list of top MCs upstate. They had Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester.
And you was just trying to include us.
And I was just trying to include us.
Mm-hmm.
And people more mad at my opinion of the list than they were at the fact that we wasn't even included in a upstate listing.
Right.
So that's why it was funny to me. And that's why I was ready for everything. And let's be clear. First thing I did was post a list that we wasn't on
Right.
to notify people.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing I did was ask people who from here should be on the list.
Right. You did.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then even after I made my list and people disagreed, what did I do? I went back, because let's be clear. The fact that I've done photography, the fact that I do editing, the fact that I do graphics, I was able to make a space on that paper for us, because it wasn't even a space for us.
Right.
I was able to make a space for a list for us, redesigned it to make a space for us, right? Then I put the design out without my list and told people, make your own list.
So that we could have the people's choices.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How many lists you think came back?
Not a lot.
One. Champ. Because he pulled up to the show, but even he. So every other region that was on the list had 28 people. So I put 28 people. When he showed up to my house to debate me, he had 60 people. If I was putting 60 people, I wouldn't forget nobody either.
Right.
What are we doing here?
Why do you think that gets people so in a tizzy like that?
Because the 518, and I'm not saying other places aren't like that. I'm just talking about where I'm at. The 518 is very tribal, right? So you can't even tell somebody like, oh, yo, my cousin mad nice and bald. That's what they gonna say. Oh, yeah, my brother nice. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's about what's nice in your tribe.
Right.
And what's ain't in your tribe, you don't care about. Oh, I got this rapper, he really good. Yeah, my uncle rap. You feel what I'm saying? Like, everybody just promote their tribe. So that's what it was. So because there was people missing out of certain people's tribe, the list trash. And then I sat down with people, like shout out to Vader Views. He sat down and went through my list and really, because
I remember
also, right, we live in a world where people are very self-centered even when they don't think they are. Right? So people think because they don't listen to something, it must not exist. Because they don't watch something, it's not there. Right? So because he didn't particularly know some of them names, he just assumed they had to be trash because if they was nice, he should know. Right? But when he sat and went and listened to every artist I put on that list to see who they were, he had to backtrack some. He had to say, nah, you know what? Maybe this list ain't that bad. Now, are there some people that I would have put on there? Are there some people who I feel are missing? Yes. But ain't nobody really on here garbage. And another thing that I wanted to do that I specifically did when I put the list together, one is I listened to the comments. So I'm looking through the comments, and if I see a name on more than one or two people's list, I'm putting that name there, whether I listen to it or not. It wasn't just based on what I listened to. The second thing was I wanted to cover different areas of music, right? So some of the people on my list have an amazing catalog. Some of the people on my list is on some freestyle shit. Some of the people on my list are doing good business and got big names coming here to do videos and stuff like that and features. Like so I had a little bit of everything. Like, so if you just, like some people, that's all they want is the freestyle or the cypher type joints. We got that here in the 518. Or you want a catalog? We got that here in the 518. Or you want bars and lyrics? We got that here in the 518. Or you want that vibe and that feel and that lit and that turned up? We got that here in the 518. So I tried to put an eclectic list together so that anybody outside of this bubble looking at it and go listen to it, you can get anything you looking for in that list.
It's interesting. I had a conversation with somebody that felt like that was asking the question, what made you qualified to make that list?
Because I could fight.
I said,
because I could fight.
And I said,
what is you talking about? Because I could fight.
And
so I don't got to
said,
wait around for nobody to give me the okay to state my opinion. Then what?
But you know what I said? Who's more qualified than somebody who has a review show and who listens to 518 music on the regular, not only when it's just his time to do the show, but on any random day, his 518 playlist is playing wherever he's at. Who's more qualified than a person who really loves 518 music to be able to even say who's who? I
appreciate that, and that's a really dope political answer. My answer is because I could fight.
So that brings me to.
But like you said, even earlier before we started recording, I was talking about how I do puzzles. I used to go live doing puzzles, playing 518 music in the background. Puzzles with Beats. Go look up the hashtag. It's out there. Puzzles with Beats. I'm sitting in my man cave doing puzzles, smoking my bud, listening to 518 music. Most of these people don't even listen to 518 music except their cousin.
That's a fact.
Most of these DJs don't play 518 music. I'm running around right now. It's one right now. I got a flash drive in my book bag right now, and I'm running around, running down on DJs, putting my flash drive in them, uploading 10, 15 big Q songs. It's a whole folder. Just slide the folder over.
All right, well, I need to.
Yeah, it's in the book bag right now. I'm not playing.
And my flash drive is in the room.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
not playing.
So we doing that.
Yeah, I'm on madness.
Because I'm tired of hearing.
Because I can fight.
That I can't listen to.
Yeah, I can fight. So I'm on madness, and you can come see me. If you don't like what I say, or just stop listening. There's a beautiful button. Yo, that's why I don't really over complain about what's on social media, because I utilize my buttons, right? There's an unfriend button. There's a block button. I am not coming knocking on your door to sit in your house to give you my opinion. You feel what I'm saying? If you don't like my opinion, you don't got to listen to it.
So let's talk about the review show.
Let's talk about it. Shout out to my guy, Pesh. Yeah.
The review show.
Yeah, 2-time champion, back-to-back seasons, champion of the verses. Yeah, you know what's going on, man.
Yeah, I like that y'all make a friendly competition.
Yeah.
But
right
Spin
now,
the Block
is
the name of the
3-1.
review show.
Fact, Spin the Block music review show.
Every Monday.
Every Monday. We taking 2 weeks off because we just finished season 7. So we will be starting season 8 at the beginning of the next month.
And let me say this before you finish that. Every Monday, when me and my wife leave work, either one or both of us, it's like, yo, Beast and them is on. We literally be having y'all on Bluetooth in the car, riding home, just so we don't. And if we miss something, we go back and watch.
Nah, that's dope, and it's funny. And I know that because I could tell sometimes by your comments, you know what I mean, that you went back and watched it. But it's funny you said that because originally, the whole idea was Pesh idea. Pesh was bored one day, sitting in the car, and was like, y'all, you know what? Y'all send me music while I'm riding around, listen to y'all music and tell y'all how I feel about it. That's why it was called Spin the Block, because he was actually spinning blocks. But the first time he went live with it, I inboxed him, yo, bro, hit me. Because before that, me and him had like, this show that y'all see now, how me and you be on the phone for 2 hours having the conversations, Pesh was pulling up. Yeah. Pesh would pull up to the crib, we roll up, and we sit there having these conversations, and was like, Dad, we played that stuff. We should have went live. We should have recorded that. Yo, that was a good one, right? And then it's funny because some of the conversations we had, we seen come as debates later on different shows and stuff. So it was like, see, we should have went live when we did that. So when he was doing the music, he hit me. Like he damn near shut the live down and hit me. He's like, yo, what up? What's good, bro? I'm like, yo, bro, we can set that up here. The same way we be sitting here talking, we can do the same thing, but have people send us music. So he was like, bet, let's do it. So we started it. We ain't had no cameras. We ain't had no microphones. We ain't had none of that. We had a phone and we went live off the phone. You know what I mean? And now look, now we got commercials, segues, you know what I mean? Intros, outros, voiceovers. You know what I mean? Look at us now going into season 8. So it's just really dope. And it also exposed me to so much talent here in the 518. And when I hear and see other people in the world and they repeat that or regurgitate that to me, like, yo, bro, I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even know it was that much talent here. I ain't know it was that many. TMT, the Young Prince, was just on 2 weeks ago. He said, yo, I ain't know it was that many rappers here in the 518 until I started watching this show.
Shit.
So
many more.
You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's so many that don't submit to us. It's so many dope artists, and not even just rappers, just artists in general in the 518 and beyond that. Like, that's really what the show is about, just to highlight that. And shout out to the show. It grew beyond that, probably quicker than we thought. And we was able to connect with artists in all kind of different places. We streamed over 5 different platforms, I want to say. YouTube, we broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So we streaming over 5 different platforms.
And IG is kind of...
Yeah, sometimes he with IG because IG changes the format and is an extra step. You got to actually like put the stream key in, and sometimes midstream IG will cut you off because most of the time they only let you broadcast for an hour before they cut you off. So yeah, sometimes we play. Sometimes we might do like a behind the scenes where a phone or something is on the side doing a behind the scenes live. But to get that real experience where you hear the music clearly, see all the pop-ups, see you got to come to one of them other platforms.
Yeah, I've developed it very well, man, from where it came from. And I'll also say, I'm sure you know this already, but it's you guys that add the validity to the show because of who you guys are and what you guys do. And,
because of who he is.
And I commend Pesh too because, you know what I mean? The artist with traction usually ain't worried about trying to provide a platform
for other artists, especially in the midst of his, journey.
No, that's a fact.
But he do, you know what I mean? And don't even submit none of his own music so that it don't come across bias or nothing. Like he ain't been the intro, outro, or waiting screen yet.
Right, he not using it to promote himself because that's what most artists would do.
Well, not using it to promote his music, but what he's doing and what's great for him and what more artists need to do is he is showing his personality. He is showing that even as an artist, if he may be removed, he's relatable. You know what I mean? So I think that's huge for him as an artist where people like, it ain't even just your music. I like you. So I'm going to listen and support your music because I like you. I like your energy.
One of the reoccurring artists that we hear very often on this show is a gentleman named Big Q XXL, and you happen to be his manager. And
that's my brother.
How'd you?
That's my
brother. Of course. But
when I was in, I want to say the summer going into 4th grade, him and his family moved next door to us in Southside Queens, coming from the Bronx. He was in the 3rd grade. He's a little younger than me. And he has a brother who's a little older than me, but was in my grade. And then he got 2 younger brothers. So he's one of 4. And like I said, they literally moved directly next door to us. Within a week and a half of them living there, we all we a sports block. So we on the block playing football, playing catch, tag, all of that. We see them hop out the 18 van and they all got football uniforms on. So we look. His father seen the look in our face like, yo, y'all want to play football? Yeah, here go the paperwork, go ask your parents. We all go ask. 3 of us end up playing football now. So that been the bro for years. And what some people may not know if you ain't been paying attention to his story is bro did 17 years behind the wall. And I want to say he's been home for about 6 years now. And bro said he just want to rap. So he was out here doing his thing. When he first came home, he was part of one half of the Go Getters, him and PR. And they was out here working. They got songs with Ricky Hyde. They got songs with El Camino. They got songs with Fuego Bass. They had Arsenal and Troy for a video. Like, you know what I mean? They was working. PR ended up moving, you know what I mean, to pursue his family thing. And Big Q was kind of out here on his own trying to figure it out. But I had made, through doing this music show, I had made some connections. And just being who I am, I had made some connections in the music world. Rappers, producers, all of that. So really what happened was we had one of our reunion shows, one of our big shows at Spin the Block. We invited a bunch of people in. And at the end of the show, as people leaving, we telling them, you know, give your spiel before you leave. Let people know where to find you. Let people know what's coming up, what's going on. As he doing this spiel, I reminded him that his EP coming. Oh, and EP dropping, da-da-da-da. He's like, oh, yeah, good looking. He leaves. Maybe 20 minutes later, I get a text. It's like, yo, bro, I was just talking to my wife. We both think you should be my manager. I'm like, yo, I got you, bro. Like, and I don't need no paperwork. I don't need no money. I'm not in it for none of that. I'm willing to do anything I can to help you in this journey that you on. So that's where we at. That's what we doing. We've been working. And I say it halfway jokingly, but all the way serious. You might be one of the fastest growing artists in the 518 from the time y'all heard of who he is to where we at right now. Like I said, we done opened up for the Locks. At this point, we done opened up for 38. We done opened up for Fuego Bass twice. We done, like, what we talking about? You know what I mean?
And during this tenure, I've let you know several times that, because I've walked that path a bunch of different times, and I could see when somebody has the makings of a great manager or is doing the right thing. So I would say, Q, you made the right choice, my brother.
Yo, I appreciate that because I had zero inspirations to be a music manager. In fact, I kind of low-key been running from the entertainment world. I could rap, you know what I mean? Some people know that out there, but I didn't want to be a rapper. I used to be a runway model, and I got off the stage. I literally bought a camera and started taking pictures to get out the picture. You feel what I'm saying? So I kind of...
You never really wanted attention.
It wasn't about the attention. I don't mind the attention. I knew I never had the tolerance for broken promises. And this industry is full of them. And I'm running somebody's mouth for telling me some shit. You know what I mean? And I know my temperament, especially then. Like I said, I'm way more mature now. I know how to handle things and navigate this space a little bit better now. But no, like I knew back then I'm not a dude that you can tell, oh, we do some business and I was just talking. That's just Hollywood talk. Well, this is just Hollywood blood. So I just knew I wasn't somebody that was willing to be played with like that. So I ran from the entertainment world, not necessarily attention. So now being in this space, I'm really just learning on the fly and just trying to figure it out. And just, I know one thing. I know the one thing that I know is that I have my brother's best interest at heart and that I want to see him be as successful as he want to be. That's all I know. That's it. So I'm just trying to do whatever I can. I'm always open to advice. I'm always learning. I'm always researching. Like even currently not just playing a managerial role, but I'm also his hype man when he performs, right? So I went and I researched a bunch of different hype men just to make sure I was doing the right thing when I'm on that stage with him. Who'd I study? I studied all the, I definitely studied some Freaky Time from Queens. I definitely studied some Spliff Star. I definitely studied some Flavor Flav. I definitely studied the underrated ones because they're rappers too, right? So I definitely studied the Tony Yayos. I definitely studied the Memphis Bleaks because at the end of the day, they standing next to megastars.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So now I did some research to see what
I love that,
what I'm supposed to be doing up there.
Shit these days.
What am I supposed to be doing up there?
Right.
How do I amplify what he's saying while not drawing too much attention to myself because it ain't about me?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's a balance up there. It ain't me putting on a show. It's me pointing you to the show. It's me trying to highlight his show. So that took some balance. So I really tried to make sure I was in the right pocket with that.
when you have a conversation with you, it's evident that sports played a big part in your life. How do you think that sports helped get you to where you are today? Um, and how did it help you in a way that you could teach other young men how to become men?
So for me, sports was an outlet
Mhm.
originally. It was an outlet. It was especially a physical outlet because I always liked to fight. I always liked the roughhouse. I always wanted to wrestle and tumble and all of that. Um, so it was a positive physical outlet and mental outlet for me. Um, and then without even knowing, I got to a point where I look back and I'm in other spaces in the world that's not sports related, and I'm able to handle different things. And I realized that it was based off of things I went through in the sports world.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It was based off being on teams with people that I don't necessarily agree with or didn't
Mhm.
come up the same as or don't
But
have the
y'all
same
gotta
cultural
fight the
beliefs,
same
but
fight.
we got to fight the same fight
Mhm.
together, at least in this moment,
Mhm.
right? Problem solving, like a lot of those things, like getting past hurdles. A lot of those things came from being in the sports world and just improving, getting better. Like even when I say studying and working on being a hype man,
Mhm.
that come from knowing how to practice to get
Right.
better at whatever your craft is. So nah, sports taught me a lot. And
And being
now,
disciplined.
facts, being consistent.
Mhm.
And now I coached AAU for 2 years, and I looked them parents right in their eye and told them, I don't give a damn about winning no free T-shirts. Because that's all you really get when you win most of these tournaments and shit
Mhm.
with these kids. I don't
Mhm.
care about winning no free T-shirts. I realized that I learned a lot about life through sports, and now I'm just using sports as a conduit to teach your kids about life.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And losing is a part of life. So we're gonna lose sometimes.
Mhm.
You can't avoid it. You can't hide from it. You can't run from it. And I think that's part of the problem with the world. Like people are so scared that the next kid is gonna commit suicide that we're putting like bubbles, like plastic bubbles around everybody so that nobody gets hurt. Nobody bumps into anything. Nobody like when the last time you seen a kid with a cast on or with a like we're going so hard to make sure that everybody stays safe that
Right.
nobody's safe.
Mm.
Because now you're going into this world unprepared. Because once you get out into this world, ain't no kid gloves.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying? But now you're not prepared
You
because
mean
people
like
been,
being in the world of participation trophies and
yeah, it's
all of that stuff?
crazy. It's crazy. Like even the things you can and can't say because you might hurt somebody's feelings.
Mhm.
What? What are we talking about? How about let's get them used to getting their feelings hurt and getting over it? How about
Mhm.
that?
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
And now, later in life, when you go apply for that job and you don't get it, you don't got to go back and shoot the job up
Right.
because you've had failures before. You've
Mhm.
been told no. You haven't been given everything. You had to earn some things. But we getting so far away from that that we're actually going to end up with more people killing themselves because people are not going to be able to deal with nothing because we're trying to protect them so hard from having to deal with anything.
I was I had a long week last week. I was doing a bunch of things and it's hot outside and wifey she trying to make sure that I'm aware of that with the stuff I'm doing. I told her there wasn't no water on the football field till it was time to break.
Huh?
Like that's how
That's
we
how we
was
was
trained.
trained. We was trained like through the gauntlet. And that's why we're so persevering because we've been through so much just to get where we at. We had to go through so much. But now it's like,
They
that's why you
softening it.
see, but that's why you see this sense of entitlement.
Mhm, mhm. Right.
Because how are you gonna give me everything and then get me to a place where you say, well, now you gotta earn it? Huh? What?
Mhm.
That's foreign to me. No, give me. Nah. So yeah, I feel like the balance is missing in some of this stuff.
Talk to me about the Big G Classic.
Yo, man, Big G Classic Year 6, man. Who knew, right? Who thought it could last this long? Who thought it would happen? Um, First, we can't talk about the Big G Classic without talking about the JK.
Okay.
Um, the JK set the tone of what street basketball was in the capital region for years. Um, Unfortunately, people got older, people passed away, things happened, people, um, like I said, had families, kids, and other things they had to focus on. So ultimately, the JK stopped happening. The Big G Classic wasn't to replace the JK. The Big G Classic wasn't to reinvent the JK. The Big G Classic was born of its own thing. Gerald Campbell passed away um, after being years of one of few black people working in code enforcement out here. He saved a lot of people homes and apartments because he would whisper in your ear what you can do to get them to go away. You feel what I'm saying? Stuff they wouldn't normally tell you. They'd rather just get you up out of there, do something. You know what I mean? He would tell you. And he saved a lot of people. Good dude, always in the park playing ball, riding his bike. And I mean, even when he passed away, if you'd have seen that man, he looked in great shape, great condition. His son, Pop Campbell, decided to have a memorial day for him in Washington Park, just to remember him. Come through, you know what I mean? A couple days away from his birthday, just come through just to remember him. The turnout was so amazing that me and him kind of looked at each other and was like, yo, you thinking what I'm thinking? And that's how the Big G was born. It was born from seeing the people show up. And they've been showing up since. So that was year one. That wasn't even year one. That was the first year after G passed away. It was just a memorial meetup, family, friends. Everybody came through. He printed up a couple of shirts and stuff. And we decided to hit the floor running the next year with the Big G Classic. We met with the city. We met with the police chief. Got the OKs and whatever guidelines we needed to exist within to make it happen. And things was running smooth. We had some vendors out there. Then the young lady Annie B, at that time, she was doing a black business vendors pop-up event, also at Washington Park on a different date. And we kind of linked, but because she was in Washington Park by the basketball court, she was trying to find a way to implement some kind of basketball or something. Like there's a whole court right here. We might as well try to figure out how to put some kind of, I remember she had reached out to HUD, she had reached out to me. And ultimately, we ended up combining the two events. So now, not only do you get a day of basketball, you get probably 50, 60 different vendors out there as well. Any kind of food you could think of, merch, everything. So
And that helps independent black businesses
absolutely.
economize.
In fact, I seen one start and grow. And it's funny, like, shout out to my guy Piff Barbecue, right? Piff was just kind of cooking on the block. Piff did the Big G Classic one year, and now it's a thing. Like he really like started a whole business, went got his paperwork right, LLC. Like he went and started a whole business based off vending at the Big G Classic.
That's fine.
So it ain't just pushing businesses that already exist. We're opening the door for businesses to be started and promoted here.
It lit that fire.
Yeah, so like it's a beautiful thing, and it's more than just a basketball tournament. It's really a community weekend. We got the bouncy castles for the kids. Like we try to have a little bit of something for everybody. We got all different age groups from middle school, high school to the men's. We have the women's showcase. In years past, we had performances. So just trying to again. And again, the performances was something that I brought to the table because I felt like we have thousands of people out here. Here's another opportunity for me to highlight some of this talent here in the 518. Let's do some, performances. And Pop was like, yo, I don't want nothing to do with it. You take care of that. If you willing to take care of it, we could do it. And we was doing that until the police pushed back.
And but nowadays you have help and support from the police force, right?
Absolutely. We get we get APD out there. There will be a recruitment table set up by the state troopers. The sheriff's department will be out there. And the beautiful part about it is They're out there chilling, watching basketball, engaging. They're more there to be a deterrent. They not out there bothering nobody. They not out there harassing nobody. They not out there running down on nobody. They out there chilling. Like, I get officers randomly that come to me and be like, yo, I already signed up to be out there for the Big G. I love that event. Funny thing is, shout out to my brother ADG. He and the team of We Are Revolutionary did a block party. Stay out the field. Summer block party yesterday on Grand and Madison.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm out there on the microphone, police pull up. So when police pull up, I get off the mic, kind of turn the music down a little bit, see what they on. They really wasn't on nothing. Plus, bro had his permit, so even if they was, it wasn't nothing they could do. But they wasn't on negative energy. So, Anthony Close volunteers.
Shout out to him.
Facts. He volunteers to buy all of them a lemonade. Like, yo, it's 4 of them. Tell them I'll get them a lemonade. So I go let them know, yo, we got a community member offered to buy y'all lemonade if y'all want a lemonade. I think 2 of the officers said sure. 2 of the officers says, nah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
So once I see they on good timing, I go and I get back on the mic. 3 words in. I said 3 words. The officer came and said, yo, you be emceeing for the basketball tournament? I said, yeah. He said, that's where I know. All right, now that's where I know you from. Okay. I heard your voice.
Okay.
You know
that's
what I mean?
What's up. So now you... And shout out to Anthony Close, because he's a selfless individual, man. Not only have I met him and sat down with him before, but I also seen that he made a $500 donation to We Are Revolutionary.
Facts.
And that was some real shit right there.
Listen, salute to that. And I'm not taking nothing away from that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool,
mm-hmm.
right? But there's certain things you can't just throw money at.
Right.
So not only did he make that donation, he was there. Right. He was making runs. He ran back out and went and grabbed some buns. Mm-hmm. He was folding up tables and stuff. He
was acting as if he was staff.
Tables. Facts. He transporting tables and chairs and stuff to make so he didn't just throw his money and stay wherever he was at.
Mm-hmm.
He made that donation and then still showed up and donated more of his time and energy.
He came
out
outside.
There. You feel what I'm saying? So shout out to bro for that, for real. But yeah,
And I saw the news story just morning about it.
Yeah.
I read the news story and what 80 had to say. So shout out to you, 80, for
shout
making
out to my guy Marvin the rapper. He came out there with his platform. Marv came out there with his platform. He did an interview. It was an interview on his channel. 80, Pesci, me. Some other people that was out there. Nope, he came out there with his platform and did some interviews as well. Shout out to my guy.
That's what's up, man. I know Marv for a long time.
I did. I kind of just met him, and it's funny. Like, I seen him, and then we kind of interacted through the music show because he sent some songs through. But all full circle to find out that the KIP girls basketball team that I was helping with their practices and stuff, his daughter Serenity is on play for KIP. So, like, when she see me, her face lit up. Oh, my goodness, Coach B, son.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? So, like you said, man, like, we got to get back to the village, man. We got to get back to the village. So, even back to your question before about the crime, we got to get back to the village, man. No parent can be everywhere. And if you created this bubble where can't nobody say nothing to your kid, guess what? Ain't nobody going to say nothing to your kid. But if you are open arms and understand that it takes a village and lean into the village, we'll help make sure that even when your eyes ain't on your kid, other eyes is on your kid. And you got to make sure your kids respect those other eyes. We got to get back to that. You know what I mean? To where, as a kid, I wasn't being unruly and cursing in front of any adult. If any adult came in my vicinity, I'm quiet in that some and at least moving away from them to get back to the mess we doing. You know what I mean? That's gone. Because it's parents in the house really telling their kids or making their kids feel they don't got to respect nobody else but them. So
let's not forget to tell them when the Big G Classic is going down.
Big G Classic, August 1st and 2nd, Saturday and Sunday. That Sunday is Championship Sunday. We right in Washington Park. Floors just got done over at the end of last summer, so we got new floors. And yeah, we're going to be out there. We're having a good time. Got some dope DJs coming out for the weekend. DJ Mac Lowry will be in the building. DJ Steph Jesus will be in the building. DJ TGIF will be in the building. We got some dope DJs coming out for the weekend, man. Sup? Yeah, he was going on, man. Big G Classic Year 6. Shout out to Hold Up, Roll Up.
I respect them
Right?
guys.
Shout out to Hold Up, Roll Up. Shout out to the Warren and Denise Mackey Foundation. Shout out again to APD, the City of Albany. And I know there's a bunch of other sponsors that I'm missing out on, but shout out to everybody that puts a hand in making sure that this happens every year.
And then the following week, you got something else going, right?
Following week, we at the MVP Arena. Alert Partnership is putting together. This is, I think, my third year being a part of it, and the third year that is going to be at MVP Arena. Unite the County, which when I first got involved, they was just uniting the city. But everything's better with B. So we uniting the county now. Soon we'll be uniting the state, because we already getting calls from Unica that want us to take the blueprint of what we do out there and show them how to operate it. So we'll be uniting the state soon. But yeah, August 8th, we at the MVP Arena. We uniting the county. 100% free event. No, real free. Like free entry, free participation, free food, free gifts, free raffles, a real free event, like leave your wallet home free event. And we got something for everybody. We got performances, we got carnival games, we got petting zoo, we got pony rides, we got video games, we got bingo. We like whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever age you are, whatever you into, come on down MVP Arena, August 8th from 11 to 4. From 11 to 4, we gonna be there. Up.
And I've been saying I'm gonna try to go down to that. I also understand that my man DJ Hollywood is also
that's my
down
guy.
with you with that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Me and DJ Hollywood, that's our stage. Like I said, we got some performances, we got the fashion show, but yeah, me and DJ Hollywood run that stage. But even with that, we got some guest DJs coming in. We got my guy Mike Powers coming in. We got young DJ Jig coming in. Come on, man, we working.
Yeah, you about to stop naming all these DJs.
Listen.
I'm just playing.
You just you be playing games, man. I'm trying to tell you, everything's better with Beast, bro. You still operating on your own Wizzy Hoffa time, and I respect it because you've done a lot. But everything's better with Beast. I can improve everything.
We chop it up.
Yeah.
So that's August 8th?
August 8th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you told me when we spoke about it before that you also had police officers involved. And you was explaining to me why that's important.
So what that entire event is about, that event is about creating a positive engagement platform for community and police officers. So we have 15 different law enforcement agencies that's involved in this, and each agency is sending 10 to 20 officers from their agency to be at the event, participating and engaging. So when you shooting the basketball or doing the challenge, the facilitators of all them things is going to be somebody from the community and somebody from law enforcement. Now, you ask why that's important. Two things. One, we get a lot of law enforcement officers in this region policing the neighborhoods
but don't live here.
So now they're not familiar with these neighborhoods, and the only interactions that they can draw from are negative ones. Right? Let's change that with some positive engagement. Now here you are interacting with community people, and it's not negative. It's not a danger. You don't have to be on guard. That's one. Two, let's create some familiar faces, right? So I've been in a situation where I'm sitting on the block, police officer pull up for a house, two or three houses down from where I'm at, and an officer get out the car that I recognize, right? Hey, officer such and such. Oh, yo, Beast. Hey, what's up? Almost immediately, they change their energy. They don't feel like they're in as much danger. You feel what I'm saying? Because they see a familiar face. And some of that happened just because my wife is in law enforcement, so I've met some people and been in certain spaces, in certain rooms with some people. I shouldn't be the only person with that superpower. Right. Having the superpower to diffuse and change the energy of an interaction just by being present. So if we can create more familiar faces, you might be driving, get pulled over one day and look up and be like, yo, bro, wasn't we just shooting hoops in the MVP Arena? Yo, wasn't that you giving out the pizza? Oh, yeah, wow. now that whole interaction goes a different way.
Mhm.
So we just want to give that superpower to more community members.
Cause just talking to a couple of police officers that I know personally, right? A lot of times I don't think we realize like they have to mentally prepare, and sometimes it's like having to come outside with a certain chip on your shoulder and a certain demeanor
Facts.
because you don't know what you're gonna be facing when you walk into a situation, right? And I think sometimes we lose sight that these people want to go home to their families too. Just because they got a gun on their hip don't mean that they don't fear shit,
Facts.
right?
Facts. In fact, some of them, their biggest fear is having to use that weapon.
Mhm.
I remember a situation where my wife had to draw her gun on somebody, and luckily she didn't have to fire it. Luckily the situation got diffused, but she immediately came home, like for a second,
Mhm.
just to decompress for a second,
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
Like that is not what I sound. That's not what I want to do.
Right.
So as many of them as we feel or see on social media or the news that do it, that's a small number compared to how many are amongst us,
Mhm.
right? So most of them aren't on that type of time, thankfully. So yeah. The other thing that I learned from being close to law enforcement, and it's funny, right? The closer you get, the more similarities you see between a police officer and a street person and a drug dealer or a gangster. There's a lot of similarities.
Mhm.
You feel what I'm saying? It's almost like they're the same coin, just the opposite side of
Mhm.
it, right? So the same way as a legitimate street
Because we
dude,
call them the world's biggest gang,
right?
and
The
stuff
same
like
way
that.
as a legitimate street dude, you walk around looking over your shoulder, worried about what could happen, knowing that you got ops, knowing that this might happen. That's the same thing you just explained that they on when they out there. Gun or no gun. As a street dude, you might have a gun too, but you still got to be on cue. You still got to be on timing. And if you out here making money for real, you don't want to shoot nobody.
Right.
Violence don't bring money. That mess your money up. So you don't really want to have to do that, but you know you need it to protect yourself and hold yourself down in case it go wrong. So there's a lot of times, I tease my wife all the time. My wife get up every day and put the same thing on, just like drug dealers do. Because she knows she going to the station to change it to her uniform. But she get up, I'm like, yo, that's your drug dealer sweatsuit. Know what I mean? Shout out to my guy Trenchy. What he said? How long he was trapping in the same tracksuit? I've been trapping 3 days in the same tracksuit. Yeah. My wife be doing the same thing. Like, yo, you a drug dealer.
Shout out to Chunchy. You know what I wanted to ask you about? It's a reoccurring question.
Let's go.
That happens on Face of 518. How can we help turn the lights back on?
Back on where?
In the city. Like there's a term, turn the lights back on, right? And the mayor has
shout
been
out to
talking about turning the lights back
shout
on.
out to the mayor.
What type of things do you think that we need to turn the lights back on?
Shout out to the city. I do think it's moving in that direction.
Mhm.
I do see more things are opening up, more things are happening. I also see more spaces that have been open being more inclusive.
Mhm.
But ultimately we just need more. And the reason we need more is because for a long time, here in the 518, we've been limited to 1 or 2 at a time, and those get oversaturated, and the overflow is what allows some negative things to happen.
Mhm.
But if you can have multiple things going on, so like, for example, this year Big G Classic for the first year ever, because of where Big G actual birthday is, we be trying to pick the weekend that's closest to his birthday. So for most people, we're actually a weekend behind because normally it's the last weekend in July.
Right.
But his birthday is like the 30th or 31st or something like that. So this particular year, it was closer to do the August 1st and 2nd weekend. But that Saturday now lands on the same day as the Black Fest, which is actually a good thing. Some of y'all go on to the Black Fest, go over there. You know what I mean? Give people something else to do, and it kind of splits the crowd some. When there's only one thing to do, everybody gonna be there. When you get multiple things to do, you can split the crowd, and it's easier to manage. So I think for the lights to be on and stay on, we actually need more things happening. We need things downtown, uptown, crosstown. That way, guess what? The people downtown can stay downtown.
Mhm.
The people, because everybody from downtown don't got a pass to go everywhere else.
right.
Everybody from uptown don't got.
Right.
Now some
So if
do.
everybody could stay in their
There are some that do.
neighborhoods.
No,
Yeah.
but there are
Mhm.
some
Right.
who, and the ones that can know that they can.
Right.
Know that they can cross those invisible lines and go here, there. I could be in North Albany at Grown Folks, or I could be like the people that can move around like that know they can.
Shout out to grown folks.
Fact. But the people who can't, they still gonna if they don't have no other option. Right? So we need more things in more areas so that people can kind of stay in their region and not feel like, well, the only thing happening is over there, and I ain't no punk, so I'm going to go. And then what that's going to lead to, it just opens a door of possibilities that don't have to be open if we had something drinking over there.
Right.
So that's what I think. To keep the lights on, we need more things in more areas and not just oversaturate one area. Everything don't need to be on Lark Street. Everything don't need to be on Central. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's move some stuff around. What's on the South End?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
True.
Like they don't got no grocery, no pharmacy, no entertainment, no nothing. So they shooting.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the South End very soon with one of my upcoming
You know
guests.
what I'm saying? So
yeah.
it's still some areas that aren't being served, and it pushes them people to go to places where they might not be as welcomed. So we need more.
That's what's up. It's dope to also see just black businesses thriving as well.
For sure.
And coming up with dope ideas and increasing the economy.
I
in the
agree.
519.
I agree. I just want us to do better. What I mean by do better, we had a conversation about me being a hype man, and what I said, I went and studied. I went and did some research.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to that too, right? I see all the dope creative ideas from these black businesses, but to me, a lot of it's the same thing. A lot of it is y'all have come up with some very intriguing, in-depth, creative ways to get into your brother pocket. I don't see too many of these black businesses designed to get the others' money and bring that back into the fold. If we in the same house, you got $20 in your pocket, I got $20 in my pocket, we got $40 as a house. Mm-hmm. Me taking $10 out my pocket, giving it to you, don't change the house money. It's still the same $40 in this house.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So being all creative with ideas or ways to get into your brother pocket don't impress me. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Because the others, they in our pockets. They figured out we the top consumers, right? They figured out we gonna put this black lady on this Popeye commercial. Oh, love that chicken for Pop. She probably never made a piece of chicken in her life. She don't own that company. They do, right? How come So Albany, shout out to P now, shout out to Just when he was with So Albany before he transitioned over to 518. To me, they should have got an other and made them the face of it. It could still be owned by a black person. Mm-hmm. Put them at the table at the Lark Fest, selling the T-shirts and the hats with Nipper on them. Mm. They done went out the window.
Yo, that's true.
What we talking about?
That's true. Because you know what? I've gotten compliments from white people about them shirts.
Yo, the lady stopped me in Stewart's. Was like, oh my goodness, I just realized that was Nipper. That's how I found out Nipper name. To me, it was the dog on the building.
Well, one time I was wearing the one with the map with the Albany, yeah, and I got stopped about that on the state campus. So
you feel me?
I know.
So
from wearing these shirts,
but we don't do that because part of our business structure is the fame and the notoriety. Mm-hmm. We gotta stand. It's ours. It's mine. It's black owned. Hey, money don't care. Money don't care.
Well, that means it's time for you to sit down and start consulting with people.
So if I gotta pretend somebody else is running this to get the money coming in, to bring more money in the house than this $40, then that's what we do.
Make somebody else the face.
Make somebody else the face. To make people more comfortable with supporting it. But nope, we want the notoriety. We want to be famous.
That's a fact. That's a good idea. Look.
But even this, right? We
This
got
is
all
what we
these,
do here.
look, we got all these people who got these t-shirt machines, right? Everybody printing out t-shirts. For who? Us, targeting us. But when the line is all the way down the block at the Palace or at the MVP Arena for these white acts and white artists, why you not down there making Holding Notes t-shirts and stuff, selling them to the... So only ideas you got is how to get your brother money. I'm not impressed.
I hope y'all listening out there. We always got people
not.
that's drop. Everybody
from
that
here.
comes up here drops some type of jewels. So that's what the show is about, man. This was a dope ass episode, and let me shout out a black business,
Let's go.
Cuddy Lounge, 997 Central Ave.
Facts, I seen that, and I seen that they doing the grown folks 35 and over couples night every Wednesday. Come
That's
on, I
a
pay
fact.
attention to what needed. That's what I'm trying to
That's
tell you.
a
I'm in
fact.
the loop when people ain't in
That's
the
a
loop.
fact.
Okay, you ain't even know I knew that.
And we bringing the live R&B bands back on Friday.
Let's go.
And you're gonna get R&B live, and then you're gonna get it from DJ Wiz Hoffa after that to end off the night. So there's some dope creative stuff going on. Shout out to them. Shout out to grown folks. Anybody you want to shout out?
Man, shout out everybody that's doing anybody that's doing anything positive to help push the 518 and beyond forward. Shout out to you. Keep doing what you do, man.
That's what's up. And like always, we gotta state, we at 2 Highland Ave. This is JGI Media. You got podcast needs, videography needs, studio recording, mixing, mastering. You need to shoot a short film. You need graphics. Whatever you need is under this umbrella.
Facts.
JGI Media, 2 Highland Ave, 1 Highland Ave is both the same address. It's a building, all right? And yeah, man, shout out to we've been, you know what I mean? You've been working, so, because I know for a while you was like,
I'm going to just keep doing the work.
Yeah.
But listen, don't think that me sitting here and being labeled as a face of the 518 means the work stopped. That means I got to do more work because that means more people watching, man.
That's a fact, man.
So I'm still working.
That's a fact. I always appreciate some of your perspective on things too. So I knew this was going to be a great conversation. Thank you for coming. We almost, it be things trying to stop us, you know what I'm saying? But God always make it work out the right way. So signing out, Faces of 518.
Just let me tell them where to find me at. Yo, I'm Michael A. Alexander on Facebook and on Instagram and everything else. I am Nice the Beast, but I spell my nice with a Y because I need a Y to be nice.
All right. Signing out with my man Beast. This is Faces of 518, episode 18. We signing off. Peace, y'all. Till next time.